I'm Cheryl VanCassele. About a year and a half, about 2 years ago, we started to go through the program to get trained. The most rewarding part, I would say, just seeing how resilient these kids are. I can't imagine the things that they've been through. And just to see the capacity for them to still love and have fun and make friends and be so flexible, to come into our house and sleep in a different bed, and that would be nerve-wracking for me as a child, and I grew up in a 2-parent stable household, but going on a sleepover was nerve-wracking to me, and how they can just move between homes and just have the capacity to trust. They have to be able to trust us and learn what their little things are that bug them or that they love, and find that connection. The most challenging is knowing that some of these kids have been back and forth in the system for so long, and for whatever reason, the entire foster care system is just overburdened. There's so few foster parents out there. The resources for their families to get the help they need, it's just so hard. So finding out that they've been in the system longer than anybody ever wants a child to be without a family, and that you can't erase any of that trauma. They will have that trauma forever, and you just have to, accept the things that they've been through and help them through, because it'll affect every part of their life, forever. And you have no idea how it's going to affect them, so you just sort of have to go with the flow. The best everything from Clubhouse has been fantastic. They've been extremely transparent from the training on. No one has ever sort of blown smoke and said, like, this is going to be the most amazing experience of your life. And right from the beginning, the teacher, I remember telling us, and my husband quotes it every once in a while, at some point you will feel like you have ruined your life. And if you keep going, you realize you're going to grow just as much, if not more, than these kids will grow. And you just sort of have to get over that hump. But, we sort of looked at it as, we didn't know what we were getting with our 4 bio kids. And they got stuck with us, right? They had to make it through whether they liked it or not. So we've sort of taken that viewpoint with the kids that we've taken in. But they've just been wonderful. From Keith getting involved with one of our first foster kiddos, he had some kind of connection, and he came out here to see him. He took him out to dinner on his first day of school, and to go to the arcade. Just to get he needed a positive male role model in his life. And Keith stood up and did that for him. All of the caseworkers, the home finders, the social workers, everybody involved is a phone call away. They've answered calls. They've helped us when we've had to go to the hospital. They've been amazing. Even with our own family, I had to be out of town to take care of my sister for a while. They were totally cool with that. They all checked in to make sure things were going okay. It's an incredible team of people. It makes me crazy when people say, oh, they're so lucky to have you. No, they're not lucky. Every kid that has come to us is not necessarily a lucky kid. They're not with their family, or their family hasn't been able to provide for them or take care of them the way they should. So they're not lucky kids. They're just because they landed here. We're the lucky ones that we get to help them and keep them safe. That's sort of, when people say that, and then people say often, how do you not get attached? Well, it's a done deal. I'm attached. The minute I meet these kids, even we have a friend the next town over, and they have a little guy, and we provided respite for him for 10 days. Oh my gosh, he's just stole a piece of my heart. And that's okay. That's okay. Our only long-term foster child, we're still in contact, and hopefully we will foster him again when he's ready. And I say to him, I didn't know that my heart could still grow. All of my children are grown. I thought, how many children can you actually love? oh my gosh, my heart has grown exponentially since starting this journey. And it's broken too. It's broken many times over, and I'm sure it will continue, but all we can do is what we can do in the moment. So I would say that there's always an element of control in your hands. You know, like they've called me numerous times and explained situations of kids that they needed placement for, and we always have the ability to say, that doesn't fit right now. You know, call me back if you're still looking for somebody in a couple weeks. Right now, I'm out of town, or someone's sick in the family, or my priorities are sort of elsewhere, or we are already fostering and it wouldn't be good for this one to have another child in the house. So they're really good about that. I think people, you know, sometimes feel like, you know, they're gonna send you the worst of the worst, and that's not true. I would say at least go through the training. The training is invaluable. It's invaluable in dealing with children in foster care or dealing with children at all. I've been a teacher's aide and I've worked in special ed, and I did some of the same trainings when I worked at the school, the trauma-centered work and things, and it was so much more in-depth through Glovehouse. And it's really helped us not only look at children and what they've been through and maybe how they react, but even the adults in our life. When people, you know, you find people who are a little narcissistic or, you know, tend to react oddly to a situation, and we now look at it and say, boy, I wonder what happened in their life that has made them so bitter or so turned off to this or unable to connect, or the training has just been really invaluable. So I would say start there. The home finders have been wonderful, and they sort of find each family's niche. You know, like so we've dealt with kids with some behavioral problems. I do have teacher's aide. You know, I have been a teacher's aide. I do have some experience being a one-on-one aide, working with some of the harder to reach kids. So they do sometimes reach out to me for that. They do sometimes reach out to me and say, hey, can you talk to this family because they're struggling? So yeah, I mean, I would say definitely, and you have to have your whole family has to be on board. You can't be, you know, we had 5 people living here. You can't have 1 out of 5. You can't do it all yourself. Everybody sort of has to be on board. So, you know, people say, my children first said, you know, like, your nest is finally emptying. I've been saying all these years, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. You're almost gone. You're almost out of the house. I almost have my freedom. And then we sort of got a taste of that freedom, and we were like, what is our purpose now? You know, like, and this has really helped Craig and I to find our purpose in life. Like, you know, our kids are by far not perfect, but we've done a good job raising them. They are all amazing human beings. They're productive, they're loving, they, you know, give up parts of their home for kids in need, and in their own way, they've all turned out to be just very giving. And, you know, maybe that's just our niche, is just to help while we can. And we can't always, you know, and sometimes we do have to take time for ourselves, but while we can, we might as well.